In the past 24 hours, an East Texas high school student has been arrested and booked into a county jail, accused of making a terroristic threat on social media. 17-year-old Lucinda Beck-Smith, a student at Sulphur Springs High School, is now in the Hopkins County Jail, charged as an adult with terroristic threat and possession of a controlled substance, that being a marijuana vape pen. As KLTV7's Lauren Tier reports, her arrest is connected to one of several social media threats identified and investigated in school districts across East Texas in just the past month.
Lucinda Beck-Smith is one of multiple detained in Sulphur Springs for posting threats to the school district on social media. The identities of the other individuals detained last week has not been released due to their ages. They are being charged as juveniles. In a post to the school district's Facebook page, Superintendent Deanna Stieber urges parents and guardians to speak with their students about the seriousness of, quote, this behavior. In part, it reads, "We cannot afford to treat this type of situation as a kid making a poor choice." Stieber goes on to say, "We will have zero tolerance for those who disrupt the learning process by attempting to spread fear and panic." These threats, regardless of the credibility, are all treated the same, according to National Association of School Resource Officers Lieutenant Pamela Revels.
It really is time-consuming. However, we have to investigate everything that comes in because you never know.
She says the number of hoax threats they receive often takes away time or attention from these serious threats, crediting the popularity of social media for the increase.
It's as simple as typing a couple things and taking a picture. Once it gets on a social media platform, it can spread like wildfire.
According to an affidavit, before her arrest, Smith showed Sulphur Springs police and Hopkins County deputies the post she made, a picture of the school doors with the caption, "Let me in, eh? Have a gun." The disruptions to learning, including lockdowns and school cancellations, are just some of the biggest concerns to officers like Revels.
That's what we want to mitigate. We want to get them back to doing what they need to do, learning and growing and not being afraid to go to school.
Lauren Tier, KLTV 7 News.
Both Sulphur Springs ISD and the Hopkins County Sheriff's Office declined to comment. Depending on the circumstances, making a terroristic threat ranges from a Class B misdemeanor to a third-degree felony in Texas, punishable by jail time and also fines.